All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for coming. I did want to host this special training just specifically for the Tier 5 Inner Circle members. Some of you guys may or may not be Inner Circle members. That's because I invited everybody, even if you're not an Inner Circle member, just because you may learn something. It's always good to learn something. And they also incentivize you to want to become an Inner Circle member. All right, so one of the first things I wanted to go over while we were here is specifically for Tom, all right? Because I know a lot of the Inner Circle members, or at least some of them, have been saying that they've been struggling with this, all right? So the first thing I wanted to do is kind of show you what you guys can do with our share funnels and how you can actually use them, all right? So I wanted to clear up a little confusion it seemed like some people had in the Inner Circle about what you can and can't do, all right? So as an Inner Circle member, you guys do get unlimited accounts on all Tier 5 softwares that you can essentially do whatever you want with. If you have current offers out there, you can add all our software as bonuses. It's literally like $10,000 a year worth of software that you can add to your current offers to increase the value of your current offers and get more sales. If you just want to directly sell the software and make sales of the software, you can do that. You can price it at whatever you want and keep 100% of the money that comes from those sales, all right? Now, to facilitate you, if you go that option, if you decide, okay, hey, and you can do both if you want to. You know, I've got Inner Circle members, and they literally do both. They have their own funnel set up where they're selling the softwares and they're keeping 100% of the profit, and then they also have their own offers and they're adding the softwares as additional bonuses to create additional value in their own offers. You can do both if you want. You can do nothing if you want to do nothing. If that's the type of person you are. If you're not an action taker and you want to do nothing, you're also free to do nothing. All right. But you do get unlimited accounts on all Tier 5 software, and it's literally up to you to do whatever you want with. Now, if you want to go the route of selling the softwares for whatever price you want and keeping the money, if that's the route that you want to go, I want to say that I've tried to facilitate that for you by providing you share funnels. I do want you to keep in mind that I am not a marketing person. I'm not a designer. I'm a software engineer. So the funnels that have been created mostly by me. So I cannot tell you they are the best funnels in the world. I can tell you that they do convert because I do get sales almost every single day on the funnels themselves for the software, and I don't have any email game. All right, what do I mean by that? Like literally, whenever people come into my funnels, I don't do any follow-up email whatsoever, mostly because I don't want to write emails. I just haven't got to the point where I've written emails. What's up, Tom? This first part's for you, buddy. So I do make sales from the funnels themselves. I have people who come in and convert and buy everything. So I've had people buy invoice email, I've had them buy Magic App, I've had them buy Link Wizard, I've had them buy Sticky Reviews, I've had them buy RoboContact, and I've had them buy Text in Bulk. I have not had anybody buy domain leads because there's physically no way to actually purchase domain leads. There's just not a way for them to purchase it right now, so no one has actually purchased that. All right. So, like I said, I cannot promise you that they are the best funnels in the world because I myself have made them. But I can tell you that people have bought stuff from them. And somebody I just want to mute real quick. I'm not sure who that is, but it's somebody. So I'm just going to mute everybody. If you guys want to unmute yourselves, feel free to unmute yourself. I have no problem with that. I do, however, have a problem with crazy background noise. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen. What I've done here is I've opened up a brand new Clickfunnels account. So here is a brand new Clickfunnels account I've never used before. All right. How do I know I've never used it before? Because I literally just now opened it, just now. All right. So I just now started it. It says even create your first funnel because I haven't even created a funnel yet. So what I'm going to do, and I'm doing this specifically for you, Tom, so hopefully you're here paying attention. This is the $1 a day promotion, all right? What I've done with the $1 a day promotion myself, all right? I have not used the $1 a day promotion really to try to get rich, all right? I've used the $1 a day promotion basically for two things. I've used it as a proof of concept and as a case study, all right? So on the proof of concept aspect of things, I've used it to show Inner Circle members how if they follow this model, how within a month they can actually go in and make their entire investment back and being an Inner Circle member and having access to everything that you have as an Inner Circle member, including equity in Tier 5, actually owning a percentage of our company isn't going to cost you anything out of pocket if you follow these steps. How do I know that? Because I'm not a marketing person, I'm not a salesperson, I'm not a funnel person, but I went in and I've created this $1 a day promotion. And if I were an Inner Circle person, I have over 100 people on this $1 a day promotion. That's over $100 a day. That's right around $3,000 a month, all right? So that definitely proves the concept that if you want to come into the Inner Circle and you're a little worried about the funds, you know, like, hey, I don't fully have the money for this, or, you know, I just don't want it to cost money out of my pocket, you can follow these simple steps and you can actually make your money back relatively quickly. All I've done, I haven't done any advertising or anything like that. All I've done is I've queried my own Facebook profile and I've went into a few Facebook groups and I've dumped the offer into a few Facebook groups, all right? And then the other thing I did is I just did a case study to essentially show how people are willing to pay for convenience. So I've had a case study just to essentially go in and document and show that people are actually willing to pay money for purely convenience. And how I've done that is on the $1 a day funnel, I give you two options. You can either pay $1 every single day. So every single day, I'm going to bill your account $1 every single day, or I give you a monthly option where you can pay just one time every month, and I charge a $7 convenience fee for that. So your two options are you can pay every single day, $1 a day will be debited from your account every single day, or you can pick a monthly option and you can pay just once a month. And instead of paying $30, you pay $37. I hit you with a $7 convenience fee, and I've just documented the fact that most people, they opt in for the once a month fee, and they actually pay an additional $7 convenience fee just for the convenience of being billed only once a month. All right. So this is that $1 a day funnel. All right. So it's relatively simple. So what I'm going to do here for you, Tom, I'm just going to take this share funnel URL. I'm going to go to my brand new Clickfunnels account here that I've just created. All right. And I'm going to pop in that share funnel URL so that I can get this funnel into my Clickfunnels account. And you can see now it is coming into my Clickfunnels account. It's being processed, so you just have to wait a moment while it gets processed, all right? And if at any time you have any type of questions or anything, you want to ask questions, this is a free to ask questions, so just drop your questions in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable speaking, if you feel comfortable speaking, by all means, just unmute yourself and we will have a verbal dialogue, all right? So, like I said, feel free to do that at any time that you want, and I'll stop and we'll have a verbal dialogue and I'll answer all your questions. So here's that funnel. I just clicked that share funnel link, and I've got that share funnel in my account, all right? So now that I've got that share funnel in my account, I can just go in and actually view this funnel, and then I can do whatever I want to it, all right? So one of the first things I'm going to do, all right, here's that share funnel, and you can see it's right here, all right? Everything that you need. Now, there is one thing that I would recommend you guys doing if you are going to use this funnel, and I would recommend you get rid of this group convert right here, because you guys probably don't have access to give away group convert licenses like I do. You can get that if you talk to the lovely Kim Dang, that is her software product, and I just essentially supported her and bought from her unlimited licenses so that I can give this away with my offers as well to also increase the value here, all right? So for you guys, if you don't have an arrangement with Kim, then you may want to take this group convert away. If she ever builds out an automation and makes this process automated, then I will extend my rights to you, and then you guys will just actually be creating group convert accounts through my automation and the license that I have with her, all right? In order for that to happen, I first have to get her to actually set up the automations so that I don't actually physically have to have my assistant go in and manually create the accounts. Because I don't want to do that for all of you. I'll do it for myself, but I don't want to do it for all of you. If she does go in and actually create the automations and get the automations finished, then I will extend those privileges out to you guys where you guys can do the same thing, all right? So I went in and put on this funnel. So one of the first things I would recommend doing is you're going to come over here to your settings, and you're going to come over here to where it says payment gateways. All right. And for all intents and purposes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Stripe.com. And I'm going to log into Stripe. And I'm going to pick a different Stripe account. I'm going to pick this Stripe account right here just because it's verified and I don't want to start from scratch of creating a new Stripe account. Hopefully you guys can get the hang of creating a Stripe account. It's really, really straightforward. All right. So this is a pretty fresh Stripe account. I don't have much here. So since I don't have much here, this is what I'm going to use. Now I am going to actually need to create and connect the payment gateway here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click add a payment gateway. And I'm going to add in Stripe. And it's going to ask me to connect my Stripe account. And I'm just going to add my Stripe account here. I'm going to say that this is my default Stripe account. And I'm going to create this account. And then I need to connect this guy with Stripe real quick. Click this button, connect with Stripe. And here it's saying, hey, Clickfunnels. So it says already have an account. I do, so I'm just going to sign in here. I'm going to pick my Stripe account here that I want to use. I'm going to pick the Tier 5 partnership here. And that's it. My Stripe account is now created. You can see I've got the Tier 5 partnership default Stripe account. Great. So that's the number one thing that I need to do. Now I'm going to go back to my funnels, this funnel here. All right. And I'm going to come over here to this order page. This order page is where people actually can buy stuff. All right. So this is where people can actually buy stuff. And you can see I let them pick either to get billed $1 a day or to get billed $37 a month, a $7 convenience fee. All right. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to first go in and create some Stripe products. So to create those Stripe products, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up two tabs in Stripe, and I'm going to go to billing. I'm going to go to products. I'm going to do the same thing here, except for I'm going to go into test mode, and I'm going to go to products. And in both places, I'm going to create a product. All right, so I'm going to create a new product here, and this is going to be $1 a day. And I'm going to call this daily option. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing there. All right. It doesn't want me to have that many characters, so I'm just going to do that. $1 a day. All right. And I'm going to do the exact same thing here in my test account. So I'm going to do literally the exact same thing, copy and paste over here in my test account. I'm going to create that product. I'm going to create this product. All right, so I need to give this a nickname. I'm just going to give it $1 a day, daily. All right, that's going to be my nickname. This is going to be my nickname. It's going to be $1. I'm going to change that to daily. And that's good. And I'm going to change this to $1, and I'm going to change that also to daily. All right. Now I've got my plans created in Stripe. So now that I've got my plan created in Stripe, I'm just going to come right over here, and I'm going to go to products, and I'm going to add a product. All right. And I'm going to give that a name. I'm just going to give it $1 a day. And I'm going to come down here to where it says subscription down here. You can see that in this billing information, I have my Stripe account, the Tier 5 partnership. That's what I've actually picked as my payment gateway here. All right. So I'm going to just put in here $1 billed $1 a day. Build day. All right. I'm going to say that this is a subscription. I'm going to select my Stripe plan here, $1 a day daily option. And I'm going to go in and put in here Tier 5 software. This is what the user is going to see on their credit card statement. All right. And that's pretty much everything I need here. All right. So I've got that all set up. I don't need to worry about the number of plan payments. I don't have to worry about the number of trial days because I'm not going to give these people any trial. They're just going to pay $1 a day. All right. Now that guy's all set up just like that. Pretty straightforward. Got my first product set up. All right. So now that I got my first product set up, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to set up my second product. And I'm just going to call this $1 a day monthly option. And I'm going to call this $1 a day monthly. That's going to go there. This is going to go there. And I'm going to call this $1 a day monthly. And here I'm just going to put in that this is $37. All right, it's going to be a monthly thing. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to say that this is going to be $37. Also going to be a monthly thing. Now I got my second product. All right, so now I'm going to add a new product over here. And this is going to be $1 a day monthly. You can see I have that same Stripe guy here. I'm going to come right back down over here to subscription. And I'm going to pick, all right. So if you don't see that guy, what you need to do is just refresh this page. And now that you refresh that page, you should be able to see that guy just fine. And if you don't see that guy just fine, make sure he's in here. He is in here. All right. So if you don't see that guy, what I'm going to recommend you do is just essentially sign out of Clickfunnels. Let's go back to our funnels. Let's go back to this guy. Let's go back to our order page. Let's go back to our products. Let's add a new product. Let's make sure we're on our Tier 5 partnership. Go back to our subscription. Also don't see that guy still. I know for sure that he's a product in Stripe. And he's a product in Stripe. All right. So again, like I said, I'm just going to sign out of Clickfunnels. And then I'm just going to sign back in. Go back to my dashboard. I really just need to come over here to my funnels. The reason that I have two tabs open in Stripe is because if you see, one's over here in test mode. So this is test mode. One's in live mode. If you want to be able to test this, so if you want to go in and actually make test purchases and see how things are actually going to happen when a user actually makes a purchase, then you need to make sure, especially if you're using a subscription, all right? If you're not using a subscription and you're using just a one-time payment, you don't have to create the subscriptions in test mode. But if you want to be able to use a monthly subscriptions and you want to go in and test the full flow and go through your actual funnel and test everything out, see your automation, see how everything's working, then you for sure definitely want to go in and create the product in your live mode and also create the product in your test mode, because Clickfunnels is going to look and make sure that that product is in test mode if you put your funnel into test mode, all right? That'll be showing you in just a moment. So let's go back to our order page now. And let's go back to our products. And let's add us a new product. And let's come over here to the subscription. And let's look and see, there's my monthly option now. Great, so I have my monthly option. I'm gonna put in again here, Tier 5 software. All right, and I'm gonna put in here, you know, $1 a day monthly, and I'm just gonna put in here $37 a month. All right. So, and then I'm just gonna put bill monthly. All right. Again, I don't need to mess with any of this. You can if you want. Obviously, if you want to limit the amount of sales that you're going to have, and you want to say, "Hey, I'm only going to sell 100 of these," or "I only want to sell 50 of these," because after 50, I've broke even on my partnership charge. It doesn't cost me anything for this partnership anymore, and I don't want to sell this stuff at such a low price after this. You can go in and set a quantity. I'm not going to do that, but if you want to do that, you can do that. So now I have my two different products here, all right? So now I can come back here. I can check this guy out. And again, like I said, I would recommend that you go in and at least remove this group convert, because right now you don't have access to that because it's not a tier 5 software. It's a third-party software. I just have a licensing distribution agreement with the creator because she's awesome and I can do whatever I want with that software. So you may want to remove that. Everything else you can leave on there. All right, and then you can just watch this video to be amazed. I would, however, recommend that you create your own video and you don't use my video. Your video can be very similar to mine, but the whole idea is you're branding yourself here and you're not branding me. I do a good enough job branding myself. I don't need you guys to brand me. However, if you're not interested in doing that much work, I will tell you you're probably not going to get that many results. But if you want to be lazy, just use my stuff. But like I said, I would recommend that you tweak this on your own and you add your own video and you brand everything to yourself, all right? Because if you do that, if you brand it to yourself, guess what? These people buying this, they're going to be more apt to buy other stuff from you instead of buying other stuff from me. And hopefully your guys' end goal is not to have a bunch of people buying stuff from me, it's to have people buying stuff from you. All right? So now I'm going to click this button, get this offer while it lasts. All right? Now you can see my two different options here. I have two different options here. All right? So that's all good. And then I can go in and actually confirm my order. That's all great. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my settings. And I'm going to come over here and say that I'm going to use this Stripe account, the tier 5 partnership, and I'm going to put him in test mode. He is in test mode because we're going to do some testing. All right? So now, since we're doing some testing, I can come back over here. I can test this out. George, quit doing that. George, don't do that. All right? And this guy is actually in test mode. Now, he's not showing me that he's in test mode for some reason. So I like to always just double check on Clickfunnels and come over here and make sure test mode is on. And then just save and update these settings again. All right? Never hurts to do that a couple times because sometimes Clickfunnels just has a way about being buggy. So just do that a couple times. All right, now I'm going to go directly to this order page. And I'm going to put in my information here. And if you ever want to test things out with Stripe, you can use the combination of digits 42, 42, and just repeat that 4 times. All right? Just like that. CVC number, you can put anything that you want. Expiration date, you can put anything that you want as long as it's in the future. All right? And I'm going to go with this $1 a day bill daily, and I'm going to complete my order. And you can see it says that test mode is enabled here. So, all right. Now, this is where your problem happens. All right? Now, if you run into this problem, I will tell you what the problem is, all right? I will tell you what your problem is, and your problem is that you have this guy, and he has this ID right here, and this is a monthly option, All right. So this is your monthly option. And Stripe is expecting this same guy here in test mode to have the same ID, and you can tell that it has a different ID. You can see that this ends in an N16, and this ends in a blah, blah, blah. So we can just edit this guy, all right? And you can see if you edit this guy, he doesn't allow you to actually edit that ID. So since he doesn't allow you to edit this ID, what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete this product. All right? Awesome. That product get deleted? Hopefully so. Come back to this product, and we're gonna delete this product. This product cannot be deleted. Okay, so we need to delete this pricing plan. So we're gonna delete this pricing plan. Great, and delete it. We're also gonna delete this product. Great, and delete it. We're gonna come in here. We're going to delete this pricing plan. And we're gonna delete this product. All right? And now we're just gonna create us a new product, so no big deal. We're gonna come back over here, and we're gonna create this new product. All right? We're gonna create that product. We're gonna put this here. And we're gonna continue. And you can see somewhere in here, there should be a nickname. All right? Here's your nickname right here, $1 a day monthly. All right? So I'm gonna grab that guy. I'm gonna put him in there. And for this ID field, I'm gonna put in this ID. All right? So I'm gonna put in that ID right there. See? See what I did? Because as you see, ClickFunnels says, hey, I can't find this plan. All right? So ClickFunnels can't find that plan. So since ClickFunnels can't find that plan, we're just going to give it this plan. We're gonna say, hey, here's the plan ID. All right? And then we're just gonna make this $37 per month. And we're gonna add that pricing plan. All right? And for some reason, we did that wrong. All right. I know what we did. I know we did wrong. No big deal. All right? So it's fun to do this every once in a while to learn how to do stuff. So let's go back to our products. This will be the last time we have to do this. All right? So let's just delete this pricing plan again. All right? And let's delete this product again. Great. Awesome. And we're just going to try one more time, all right? We're going to grab this guy. We're going to come over here. We're going to grab this guy right here. Stick him in there. We're going to grab this guy right here and stick him in there. All right? Great. We're going to create our product. All right? Now, this nickname, you're going to grab from right here. Your first nickname that you gave. However, this ID, I just grabbed the wrong ID. You need to make sure that you grab this ID, your plan ID. All right? Hopefully you can see that there is a difference between your product ID. This is your product ID. And for this product, here is a plan. And here is your plan ID. All right? So we want to have that same plan ID. All right? That's the same plan ID right there. It's the same plan ID right there. We call that 37 a month. And that guy is going to be done. All right? So now that guy's done. We need to go in and create one more product. And that product is going to be this product right here. All right? We're going to create that guy. After we create that, and you can always just do it like this. Create this one first, and after you create this one, come to this pricing plan and just grab your data from this pricing plan. All right? That guy goes in there. You notice your plan ID. If you look at this plan ID, it's UJXE. And if you look at ClickFunnels, he's saying the same thing. UJXE. He's saying this does not exist in test mode. So for you to test this out, you have to have the exact same plan in test mode. So we're just going to give him that plan. We're just going to tell him, yo, hey, here's my plan. This is my plan, and this is what I'm going to call it. So we're just going to give them that right there, all right? And this was $1 per day, all right? $1 per day. And we're going to add that guy just like that. Great, all right? So now that that's done, we're going to refresh this page here real quick. All right? And you know what? We're just going to exit out of that page. We're going to open this up again in a new tab. And we are now going to just come in here and put in our card number again. And remember, all you have to do is put in 4242, and just do that 4 times. So 4242, 4242, 4242, 4242. This credit card numbers are 16 digits. Unless you're amazing and you have American Express, and then they're not 16 digits, they're 15 digits, but no big deal. All right, actually they are 16 digits, you just have one more of these. All right, CVC can be anything that you want, expiration date can be anything that you want as long as it is in the future time. All right, and now we're going to complete this order. You can see we are in test mode, and we're going to complete this order. And you can see now my order has been created. Yay! Yay! Awesome! Looks like someone edited my funnel. Thanks, Hector. All right. So now if you actually look in here, I don't think that this is going to show up in your dashboard that you made a sale. All right. So don't think you're getting rich here. You're just testing stuff out. All right. So you do see that you have one sale right here. Yay. I just bought something. I just made a sale. Woohoo. All right. So now you can see that you can test everything out. All right. So you can go through and completely test everything out. Now, a few things to note is whenever you test things out, if you look here, you have a fulfillment email, all right? So this fulfillment email is going to get sent out whenever you buy something, whenever somebody buys something, all right? If I go in here and check this out, I most likely have an email. And I don't have an email, no big deal. Probably because it's in test mode. But this is where you fill that email out. Sometimes they are a little bit delayed because it comes from actual Clickfunnels mail server and it doesn't come from your SMPT. So this is where you can fill that email out. This is the email that's going to actually get sent when someone purchases your stuff. All right? How you find that is you just go to your product, you just click edit, and you just click on this thing that says fulfillment email. All right, so you just click on the fulfillment email. There you can put in your, information, all your deets. All right, whatever deets that you have, whatever the information is that you want to send out, you just put that in. All right. So if you don't want to send an email, then just delete this. Now no email will go. All right. If you just leave that blank, no email will go. So. Everybody good so far? So far, so good. Any questions so far? Yes or no? Questions, yes. Questions, no.
Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
So you're using Actionetics right now then, for that fulfillment email? Is that what you called it? Yeah. That's Actionetics, eh?
I'm not using it yet. I'm not using it yet, no. But you don't. This goes out just by Clickfunnels generic email. So this just goes Clickfunnels generic email. That's why I don't use it. I don't use this myself personally. All right.
Because I don't have Actionetics, so I'm using a different email. So do we have like a email sequence that is in the units or anything that we're all kind of using as follow up, or you're just doing your own, guys?
I don't do emails, so no, I don't have an email sequence. All I do at this point is give them access to the softwares and just send them an email to let them know, hey, here's all your usernames and passwords to the softwares.
Okay. And so will I need Actionetics in order to do that, or should I set that up in a different email?
Do you have, what are you using as your email provider?
Right now, MailChimp, but I'm just waiting to get shut down. So I'm thinking Aweber after that happens.
I would use G Suite is what I would use. So,
I have a G Suite, yeah.
so if you
Okay.
have G Suite, you can just use G Suite, but you'll be sending, if you go that route, you'll be sending the information with that.
Okay.
Okay? And I'll show you how to do that. All right?
Okay. Thanks.
So what I'm gonna do here is, what am I gonna do? All right. Any other questions? Anybody else have any questions? Yay or nay? Everybody's sick today. Has somebody broken into your houses and chopped all your fucking tongues out? Is that what's happened? Somebody's just broken into your house and they just chopped your tongues out and ate them. That's all right. Human tongue tastes so good. It's an amazing treat. I'm gonna assume no questions are there. Gonna be my assumption. You know there is a chat box. So there is a box. You can type in it with your keyboard and just say, no, John, no questions. Yes, John, have questions. You guys are a tough crowd. Tough crowd.
Hey, John.
Hey, what?
I do have a question about getting the sticky reviews onto the funnels. Like yesterday, David mentioned something about having just using the sticky reviews that come off of Tier 5 software already. How do we get those captured onto our own funnels and stuff if they're not our own?
Have you been inside sticky reviews at all?
A little bit, but not too much. I just got a computer back. It's kind of hard to do on my phone, and I just got my computer yesterday. So now I'm trying to actually figure out how to do stuff.
Okay. Well, sticky reviews is really simple. So let me know what you want to do first. Do you want to go through the Zapier automation to actually set up all the accounts for these people that just purchased and then do sticky reviews after that, or you want to do sticky reviews first?
Well, I'd rather do sticky reviews right now. I'm trying to put it onto my own funnels. I don't have anybody buying software yet.
That's okay. Okay, so sticky reviews is relatively simple. So let's go into sticky reviews. Let's go to sticky reviews. All right. So I'm going to go to sticky reviews. And I'm going to log into my sticky reviews account. And the first thing that I'm going to do is create a new campaign. All right. And that may not be necessarily the first thing that you do. All right. So the first thing that I would suggest you do is set up some branding. All right. So branding, what is branding? Branding is just, if you look down here at these sticky reviews, you see where it says powered by, and then it says Tier 5 LLC, and if somebody clicks on it, it will actually open up the Tier 5 website. That is a brand. All right. So sticky reviews has no branding on its own. It doesn't have any branding on its own, so you can create whatever branding that you want. All right. So that's relatively easy to do. You just go in here, you click this button, and you add a brand. All right. So for example, I'm just going to do sticky reviews. Sticky reviews, and I'm going to give this sticky reviews website. Just like that. And now I have a new brand called Sticky Reviews. Now that I have a brand, I'm going to go in and create a campaign. In order to create that campaign, what I'm going to want is I'm going to want this URL right here. All right? Now, I do want you to know that sometimes this URL won't work because how Clickfunnels does their masking. So if it doesn't work, then we need to create a custom domain in Clickfunnels, which is really, really easy to do. Sometimes their masking doesn't work properly. I've been trying to fix that. So we're going to start a new campaign. And I'm just going to call this $1 a day demo. Put the domain name in. It's going to be that domain name I just copied from Clickfunnels. Then you're going to select a style. Do you want rounded corners or do you want square corners? I like rounded corners myself because they're nice and round. And Tom, we'll get back to you in just a couple minutes. I'll go through how to how to trigger everything and get their email set up and hit the Tier 5 API right after this. Then you're just going to let me know, do you want to loop your sticky reviews or do you not? All that means is if you have 3 sticky reviews, do you want to show 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on an infinite loop? Or do you want to show 1, 2, 3 and not show any more sticky reviews after that? That's completely up to you. I'm going to choose to loop them because I like looping. All right? This is your delay before start. How long after a user comes to your website should they see your first sticky review? All right? So I'm going to say 2 seconds. I want a user to come land on my page, and after 2 seconds, I want the first sticky review to pop up. This delay is actually the duration of the sticky review. How long should that sticky review be there visible for the user? That really kind of depends on you. I like to use 5 seconds. All right? Do you want to turn on branding? I'm going to turn on branding, and I'm going to use that sticky reviews brand that we just created, and I'm going to save this. All right? Now that I save this, I'm going to come in right here. I'm going to grab this code. I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to come back over here to Clickfunnels. I'm going to go to my settings. And right here in the body tracking code, I'm going to paste in this sticky review code. All right? And then I'm just going to save this up. Just like that. Just getting saved. All right? Now, you may not want to stick it there. All right? You don't have to stick it there. You can stick it on the individual pages if you want. I'm just sticking it here so it's on every single page. If you don't want it on every single page, then you would just go to the individual page like this, and you would just edit this page. And once you edit this page, you're just going to come right up here where the settings for this page is. And you're going to go to your tracking code, and you're just going to install this in the footer. You can see right now I have a Magic Zap script installed there that I'm going to remove because it's not relevant to you. All right? So you would just save yours there. Mine's already saved up. So I'm just going to now go visit this page. And I'm going to view my page source. And I can see that there's my code right down here. There's my sticky reviews code. All right? So now I know he's been installed successful. Now I'm going to just look over here and see my console. All right? And I can see that it's saying, hey, sticky reviews is waiting. And I can see that it says, hey, it's got an empty set of sticky reviews. What that means is you have not added any sticky reviews. So we're going to go add a sticky review now. Now we're going to come over here. And pretty straightforward. You can just add a sticky review. All right? Just add a new review. We call it Amazing Software. All right. That's going to go right there. And I'm going to give this a tag of $1 a day. And I'm going to give it this, select the date and time. I'm going to say that this happened yesterday at some random time. And then if you want to choose a file, you can choose a file. I'm going to put Rachel's face here. All right. So there's my first review. And then I'm going to give another review that just says, wow. I'm also going to put a $1 a day tag here. And I'm going to be like, all right, select time and date. I'm going to say this happened on this date at this time here. And this time I'm going to choose somebody else's day. So I'm going to choose Kevin's day. And then I'm going to do that. Now I've got these two $1 a day reviews. I'm going to come back to my sticky reviews campaign. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to add these two guys up, right? Just like that. I'm going to save them. All right? Now I can see that those two guys are added there. And I'm going to come back over here. And there's the sticky reviews. Okay. And yes, that is a very stupid question, Marie. Probably the dumbest question anybody's ever asked me. But no, yes, that's exactly all you do. All you need to do, if you have multiple codes, and you may have multiple codes, you just need to make sure whenever you have those multiple codes that you're putting them outside the script tag. So if you look here, and you have the start of a script tag right here, and you have the ending of a script tag, if you want to have multiple codes, then you'll just put that right outside the next one. Just like that. And then you can add as many codes as you want. All right? It just depends on where the codes need to go, whether you add them in the body tracking code or whether you add them in the pixel tracking code. All right? Usually the code themselves will tell you where to add it at, and it just depends on what the codes do. Like Facebook, anything that goes in the head of the page, it actually has to get loaded up before the rest of the page can get loaded. All right? So for sticky reviews has to go out to our application, and it actually has to pull in all the sticky reviews. So you don't want the rest of your page waiting for a response back from our server. You want the rest of your page to load, and then while your page is loading in the background, you want sticky reviews to go out to our server and get all the data. But you don't want your page to wait on that. Well, Facebook tracking pixel, you don't want the Facebook tracking pixel in the body, because that means that a user could actually leave your website before the Facebook pixel ever gets loaded up. So typically for the Facebook pixel, the very first thing that you want is the Facebook pixel. That way, as soon as a piece of data comes to your website, Facebook can send the data back to Facebook and let you know, hey, you got a new website visitor. All right? So usually the software that you're using, they'll tell you where to put the code. They'll tell you, does it go in the header section or does it go in the footer section? All right? For pretty much all tier 5 scripts, except for the link wizard conversion scripts, you're going to place those in the footer. Just like we did here with sticky reviews, all right? We did that with sticky reviews, and now because we put it here in the settings, it means it goes on every single page. So no matter what page we go on, you're gonna see that sticky review on that page. So you'll see that sticky review here. You'll see it on the thank you page. You're gonna see it on every page. If you don't want it on every page, then do not put it here in these settings. Just go page by page and install it page by page, all right? On whatever pages you want it to show up. Since I put mine in this here, this is global, and that means this will be added to every single page, all right? You may or may not want that. So does that take care of you on sticky reviews, Michelle? You understand what to do now?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Sticky reviews is pretty simple, and we've got a lot of new updates coming. And keep in mind with sticky reviews, you can also make these exit pop-ups here. All right. So you can also create these exit pop-ups so that while a user's on your page and they're scrolling around your page and they're like, yeah, I don't like this page, I want to leave. As soon as they try to leave, that exit pop-up will show up, and you can display the best reviews that you have. In case you have like 100 reviews and you're going through 100, on this you can just literally highlight the best ones that you have and give the user a little bit extra information so that they can do whatever that they want. All right? So now that's all set up. So any other questions, or should we move on? And you look like you have a question, buddy. Look like you're getting real serious on us, Ed.
Hey, John.
Hey, Dom.
Yeah, hey, I need to have a demo on setting up the Zap to go into the API from Stripe.
Okay. Can I use your?
And then I have also have I'm using GetResponse for my autoresponder. I'd like it to also send out the opt-in page, their email, over to my GetResponse.
Okay. Well, I've never used GetResponse before, but I can show you the gist of everything. Can I use your affiliate account to use your API?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh. Can you just send me on Facebook your password here? Send me somewhere your password so I can have it. I would recommend maybe not the Zoom chat, but.
No, I never changed it.
Hello there, boys and girls.
Hey, boys and girls, it seems like you have changed it because it didn't work for me. Oh, maybe that's it. There we go. All right, here we go. Manage accounts. All right. All right. So, now how we're going to do this is pretty straightforward. We're going to go to Zapier.com. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Zapier.com. We're going to log in. And I'm going to come over here to my Zaps. All right. And I'm going to come to this tier 5 group. And I'm making new Zap. All right. And I'm going to call this tier 5 API. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick Clickfunnels here. I need to pick Stripe. I'm just going to pick whenever we get a new successful purchase. And I'm going to connect an account. Yeah, sure. Why not? Use this account right here. This is a new account that I have set up. And I'm going to look at my funnels. It's going to be this funnel right here because that's the only funnel that I have. And I'm going to listen to a new order on the order page. All right. And I'm going to continue. I'm going to pull in some samples here. And I can see. Here's my sample. All right. Awesome. And I'm going to add an action. And I'm going to use Webhooks here. By Zapier. I'm going to use a post hook. And I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to come here. I'm going to add a user. So I'm going to copy this API right here. Stick that API in there. And I'm going to give some parameters. I've got all these parameters right here. All right. So the first thing you're going to need is a secret key. So here's your secret key. I'm just going to call it testing. You're going to want to change this. You must change this. All right. So I'm calling it testing, but I'm going to tell you, Tom, later you want to change this because if not, anybody's going to be able to consume your accounts. All right. This is how you keep other people from using your API if they happen to know what your affiliate ID is and they happen to know our API structure. So you want to go in and change this later. For now, we're going to leave it just like that. All right. It can literally be whatever you want it to be. All right. It just cannot contain spaces. So we're going to use this API access, and we're going to use our secret key, our token, email, and product. So we're going to put in a secret key. We're going to put in token, an email, and a product. Token. And this was testing. Our token is given for you right here. It's different for everybody, so don't use Tom's. This is going to be different for everybody. This token is actually your affiliate ID. We're going to pop him in there. We're going to give an email. All right. This email is essentially going to be the email that is coming from our step 1. All right. Whoever purchased our thing. And we're going to give a product. All right. And for that product, try to make it easy for you. In your case, this one, you're just going to use all. All right. If you want to make individual ones, you can do individual ones. If you wanted just to create a Link Wizard account, just use Link Wizard. If you want to create just a Magic Zap account, use Magic Zap. But since we're literally doing the $1-a-day funnel and to get access to everything, we're going to use all. All right. So we're just going to use all. And then we should be good. Nothing else is needed here. Now the only thing that I'm going to do just to show you that this works is I'm going to change this and I'm going to go in and put, monkey@newemail.com. And the only reason I'm doing that is because john@thinkvaughn.com is already used, and you're going to get an error here showing that, this thing doesn't exist or it already exists. And then I'm just going to hit continue. And then I'm going to send this text. And you can see user was added on all these. All right. So now if you come back to your accounts management page, and you can see here, you've got monkey@newemail.com. Monkey@newemail.com. All right. So with monkey@newemail.com, was to go to app.uselinkwizard.com and put in his email and his password. Remember, we tell you right here that all these passwords are going to have, all these accounts will have the default password of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can put in this account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just log in. Now he has a Link Wizard account. Welcome, Monkey. All right, and it really is that simple. There's nothing else to do here. All right, all you really actually need to do here now is come in and edit this and change this guy right here to be the email coming in from your purchase, and then just continue. All right, and then now you need one other thing, and you said you're using get response, and here you're going to. So here, I'm not sure how this is going to work because I don't use get response, but it looks like you can create a contact here. But it does not look like you can send an email from Zapier, okay? So I don't know what to tell you there.
Yeah, I have to set that up inside of GetResponse in the autoresponder.
Okay.
That'll just add it to the list. So
I personally myself, I just use Gmail here. So I literally just use Gmail here. And I would just, me personally, what I do is I just use Gmail. And I just click send email.
Okay.
That's what I do. I pick my email address. And then I just give them an email and I let them know, hey, congratulations, thank you for your purchase. Here's all your login information. And then you're just going to give them all the login information. You're just going to give them something like this. Let's see if I can find mine because I have one myself. Let's see if I can find mine. $1-a-day instant access. Indeed. So you're just going to do something like this.
okay.
Son of a. Now, if that ever happens, all you gotta do is just test this step again. Sometimes Zapier does stupid stuff, so we'll just skip and now come back down here, and he should be able to give you that email address, and then you can literally just copy this guy, paste him in there, copy that guy, paste him in there,
Okay.
copy that guy, paste him in there, copy that guy in there, copy that guy, paste him in there. Something just like that. Make sure they have the login, the login to everything. There you go. They got Robo Contact, Text in Bulk, Sticky Reviews, Magic Zap, Link Wizard, Invoicing You, and Domain Leads. Probably change this up a little bit, you know. And you can do something just like that. That's it. Not so bad, right?
Yeah, it looks easy.
Obviously, you got to fill the rest of this stuff out. You know, who you're sending it to. You just put in his email address from there. Something like this. This guy. You know, put in your name here. Your name here. And then, you know, something like that. And then you're good to go. Really straightforward, nothing complex here. Pretty simple stuff. You're just literally going to go to this section and you're going to copy and paste the stuff from here. You just need these things. Just remember the secret key is required. If you don't have a secret key, just click that button right there and then just come in and give your secret key. You'll want to go in and actually change your secret key to whatever you want. This is what I recommend. This is how I recommend you generate a secret key. Go to your keyboard, put one hand on this side of the keyboard, one hand where your numbers are, and then just smash like that. There you go, secret key. Now you got it. And then just copy and paste that. No one will ever guess that, all right? And that's how simple it is to do the API integration. The API integration is really straightforward. So now you can see it's all set up, and now essentially what will happen as soon as somebody comes in and makes a purchase, Clickfunnels is an instant thing. So when they say instant, they mean about a minute delay. So about 1 minute after somebody goes in and actually makes a purchase from Clickfunnels, they'll get this email, and it will, you know, the stack will happen. It will actually create all their user accounts. And then it will send out the email so they have all the logins to their user accounts. And then you do nothing but just keep the money. You just take the money and then you're done.
Cool. All right, thanks.
Yep. So, everybody else good, or any other questions until now? Have some tea? Yes. Can I have some tea? Yes. Would anybody else like some tea?
Yeah, send some over, John.
Seriously, any other questions? Does anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, I wanted, you know, I discussed this over the weekend because I had some time to play around with Text in Bulk and Twilio. You know, some of the links from Link Wizard didn't arrive because Twilio just said it violated some procedures. Do you have any insight there?
I would say probably the issue is the issue is
They don't like links.
Links have went out probably so many times that Twilio doesn't like those link wizard links, probably because people use them to spam shit out, and apparently don't like that. So the workaround that we have in place for that is to allow you guys to use your custom domains and just allow you guys, instead of having, because right now what happens is those links that get sent out automatically through text in bulk. They don't authenticate into your link wizard account. So what we were thinking about doing is one of two things. One, we were going to build a native integration between Link Wizard and text in bulk, where you would go into text in bulk and you would essentially authenticate your Link Wizard account with the same API essentially token that you use for Zapier. You'll put in that API token in your settings tab. You'll hook up your Link Wizard account, and then you'll pick what domain that you want. You'll have to use a custom domain. We won't let you use the LNKW domain. You'll just have to have a custom domain, and you'll use that custom domain, and that should pretty much solve your problem.
Okay, I used only custom domains. Is it possible for them to use the IP address? Because I assume that it's probably tied, or I assume that it's probably tied to that, so that they're just looking at the IP address and saying, okay, anything coming from there is not.
Could be, but it shouldn't be, because we just actually recycled the other day whenever you guys had issues with Link Wizard. It was because we're actually doing a server migration. And whenever we're doing that server migration, like literally we just moved to a completely new server with a completely new IP address.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be going from the IPs, that we really just switched to IPs. Did you try another? Sometimes Twilio just has an issue with URLs going in general. They don't like links going in unless they don't like links going out on one-way contacts. So when they realize that you're sending out contacts one way and you haven't received any communication back, then they usually don't like those links going out. So
Okay, so multiple text messages, one after the other, is not good. Just send one and wait for a response.
Right. So like when you get into actually sending links and stuff, they like to see that the person you're sending the link to has sent you some incoming message, that there's a two-way dialogue there, and it's not just a complete one-way dialogue.
Okay. Yeah, and that's probably it, because I send a message without a link, and then right after that I send a message with a link without waiting. Yeah, so probably if I had put the link in the first message after they answered, that could have worked.
See, when most of the time when I do text stuff, I don't do the one-way initiation. I have an opt-in where I tell people that you can set it up in text in bulk. I tell people, hey, text this to this number, and I let my users initiate the conversation. And Twilio will look at that. Twilio will actually look at how conversations are being actually initiated. And if they see that you're receiving an incoming message and responding out to that incoming message, then for the most part, things are pretty much fair game. I'm not sure from their end how deep they look into that link. How deep from their side do they actually analyze that link and look and see the final destination of that link and see if it's essentially like a proxy, like Link Wizard is, or if it's an actual end destination. So I'm not quite sure. And they don't even give that type of information out where we'll be able to find that type of information.
They rewrote all the links with their own shortener again. So, but that's, I forgot that they do that anyway. So Link Wizard for me, I thought, okay, I have this cool domain, so I use that, but it doesn't show up in the text message anyway, so it doesn't matter really.
Are you sure Twilio rewrote it, or?
Yeah, it rewrites. It's like your secret key you just typed in.
Right, but are you sure it's Twilio doing it, or the carrier?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Twilio doing it, because if I take my long link and I just text the long link, they do the same thing. And I remember from years ago when I was texting gift cards, that was actually one thing I really liked that they did that. You know, they just shorten every link I think that's over a certain length, they shorten it themselves.
Well, I would say if it's over 160 characters, for sure they're going to shorten it because they cannot physically send a link that's more than 160 characters and have it be a clickable thing, because it's going to be broken down into 2 separate segments, and then no one's going to be able to click on it. So if it's a long link, I would say they most certainly do it. See, the way, since I live in India, and we haven't had text and bulk supporting Indian members, the way that we always test everything is Twilio to Twilio. So whenever we do our testing here, it's always essentially SIP to SIP. We always essentially do Twilio to Twilio testing, where we'll have 2 different text and bulk accounts, and we'll do all our testing from one account to another account, sending the messages, and we never have any problems, but it's probably because it's going Twilio to Twilio, and it's not going actually out in the carrier. Whenever you're delivering things to the carrier network, it's got a lot of rules.
That's one test I did. I have a landline that's actually a voice over IP line that's capable of texting, and so I tested there, and I had absolutely no problems. And the other problems really look like they're all Verizon, but you know, Verizon is like half the numbers in the U.S. So I think a strategy there, or experience in how to do this, is necessary there. And you know, I appreciate you saying that. You know, I'll try it with the link coming after an answer instead of, you know, trying to do some cool stuff.
See, Verizon has a lot of very strict deliverability codes that they have to maintain. So like, even if you're texting Verizon members, then we really have to limit the rate at which you're sending out, and they have to have a merge deal. Like if you try on Verizon to send out verbatim the exact same message to a lot of people, the carrier will block that. You'll literally get a code back. And whenever we relaunch text in bulk, which is going to be hopefully right in, you know, mid-February, we're including for you guys a response back, all the post backs from Twilio as far as what the status result was of that message, so you can understand if it was actually sent and received by the end device, or if it was rejected at the carrier level, or if it was rejected at the Twilio level. But Verizon does a lot of rejects at the carrier level, especially like if you want to send I love you and you want to send that out to 500 people, most of those are going to get rejected unless you include like a merge field, like I love you, Jane, I love you, Bob. Then at that point, since the message is a little different, then they will allow them to go through. But if it's verbatim the same thing, they do that, but they do that strictly on short codes. They don't do that on long codes, or they do that strictly on long codes. They don't do that on short codes. On short codes, you more than likely would never have an issue, because those short codes are built specifically for that. But those short codes they're just a pain in the ass, because they're like $3,000 to $10,000 per 3 months to lease a short code, and then your response rate that you have is super low. I mean, most people, whenever they see a incoming phone call or incoming text message from a 5-digit number, most people already know that that's a promotional thing, and they don't pay attention to it. But the long code, it's not. That's why we prefer the long codes, because statistically, it's just, if you use a long code, especially if you dive down to the local area and you go and grab the local area, and that's what you're sending out your messages from, then you're more apt to get responses that way. So whenever I ever ran text campaigns, even doing cold outreach to people, I would never start with an SMS first. I would start first with a phone call. I would first start with a phone call, and then like an hour after a phone call, I would do my text message, because what will end up happening, like I said, Twilio is always going to be monitoring the communication to see if this is two-way communication or if this is strictly one-way communication. And if you do a call, even if you just have I'll have like a 3 or 5 second message that just says, you know, hey, can you hear me? And then that will be it. And then they'll pick up the phone and just be like, hey, can you hear me? And then the call will just drop. And then guess what? Most people will call my number back. You know, they'll just call my phone number back. Now at that point, Twilio sees there's a two-way communication here. They see that, okay, communication is going out and communication is going back in. So they assume that the person on the other end is wanting information delivered to them, so they let your messages go through. And that's what I've always done. Like whenever I first started with text and bulk, that's all I would ever do. First thing that I would ever start with is a voice campaign. I would send just a simple message that would just be like this, like, hey, can you hear me? And then I would drop the call, and then I would get a flood of messages. Those people will start calling me back, or they'll text you. And that's a lot of people will do that. They'll text you, and they'll be like, hey, I just saw that you called, you know, who is this, or what's up? And that can be your default auto response to respond with your link, because now Twilio sees that the SMS communication was initiated by the receiving party. And so they'll assume, okay, this receiving party is initiating conversation. We should allow these messages to come back.
Okay.
But from my perspective, the SMS campaigns, they're powerful, but they're powerful only in two ways. On people who are actually opting in, on people who opt in and ask for messages. And those opt-ins, the best way to get them is not to collect somebody's phone number. It's to have them text you a secret word to your phone number, so that the message originates from your sender, and the first incoming message comes from your sender, and Twilio will be like, okay, this should be legit, let these guys talk. Or to start first with a voice communication and have voice communication, and then always follow up afterwards of your voice communication with a text outreach. And that even works better for people, because they're like, okay, hey, I talked to you, so since I talked to you and I know who you are, then you know you can text me and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
So what else? Other questions? Other things you guys want to go over while we're here?
Whose dog?
I'm surprised you hear him. That dude's all the way. He's like 8 stories down. He's outside 8 stories down.
So I have a question.
Yes, please.
I recently imported a contact list from my work to text in bulk. So I trimmed down the Excel file to name, first name, last name, phone number, I think it was. And then I uploaded it into text in bulk and did a bunch of phone calls and text messages from there. But it wouldn't upload the name. And I must have done something wrong, I realize, but I don't know what it is.
You for sure.
You want to have a look at it?
You for sure did something wrong whenever you give us data. Now whenever we do the relaunch in text in bulk, again, we're actually changing this to make it even simpler for you guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to model something like Clickfunnels and a lot of other people do, where we just do column mapping, and we allow you guys just to map your different columns to our columns. But essentially it's exactly what you need to do. All right, so let's just go in and create a list here. And we're just going to call this test upload. And I pretty much do have all hands on deck on text in bulk to get it relaunched for you guys. Test upload. All right, so let's check this guy out right here. Got 0 people on him. And we're going to do this upload lead list. You're going to download this sample file right here. And you need to match this verbatim.
Oh, I did not do that.
It has to match verbatim. If it differs in any way, shape, or form, we are not going to accept that data. So your easiest way to do that do that is going to be do something like this. just grab this guy right here, copy him, paste him in there, and then just grab your data and paste them in there, just like that. All right. You need to make
And
sure.
just leave it blank if you don't have company or website?
No, you don't, there's only one field required, and that's phone. That's the only field that's required is this field right here. And whenever we do relaunch, even that's not going to be required anymore. So we're not going to require you to have a phone number whenever we do the relaunch, so that if you guys want to use it just for your email autoresponder, you can use it just for your email autoresponder. But you're literally just going to do that. You know, like I said, this is the only thing that's needed. That's all that's needed. So we're going to download as. So we're going to download this guy as a. There's that untitled guy. We're just going to drag him over here. Put him right in here. And then you have the option to tell me, do you want to validate these guys or not? If you want to validate, you're going to skip our internal validation, and you're just going to tell me if these guys are mobile, landline, or VoIP. If you don't know, then don't click that. Just store it and import them. And this process does take time because we have to validate each and every one of these numbers and figure out what type of phone number that it is. So it does take a little bit of time. Obviously, the longer your phone number, or the longer your list, the more everything is. But you can see there's his name, and there's his phone number.
Okay.
So you just need to make sure that your data completely matches our data. Like I said, whenever we relaunch this, I'm going to make it a lot easier. You guys are just going to come in here and you're just going to upload your list. And after you upload your list, you're essentially just going to you're going to see all of our fields, and then you'll just have like a drop down from the fields from your data sheet that you want to map to our data fields, and you won't have to do any type of data manipulation. All we'll do is we'll essentially read the headers in your spreadsheet, and then we'll give you all our different headers that we need, and each one will have a drop down, and you'll just pick, and you'll be able to select from any of the data headers, any of the columns from your data sheet, just maybe like you're already used to in things like MailChimp or Clickfunnels, stuff like that.
Okay. Sounds good.
So what else? Any other questions?
I tried Yelp also, and I got myself a Yelp API key, and I went looking for realtors, I don't know, somewhere, and Yelp said it, or Text and Bulk said it takes a while, but I see there is like, I don't know, a couple of hundred hits on my Yelp API, but no list came into Text and Bulk. Is that something that could be put, or just take some in Denver?
Denver.
I just close the window and open it back up again. I've had that too, but you know, that's just a.
Well, I know what the problem is. The problem is Google API key. I just need to grab one somewhere else. And this does definitely take some time. So this does definitely take some time to run these searches. Can't tell you how long they take, but they for sure definitely take time. I got 390 of them so far.
Yeah, damn it. Well, you know, that always happens when somebody tells me they got a problem. I do it and it just works.
Well, we've been doing so much maintenance on this server that these are all processed by a job queue. So what could have happened is what could have happened is what could have happened is that whenever you did it, somebody was doing maintenance on the server and they killed the job queue, so your job's never actually processed. But it does for real work. I got 300.
Now, when you take those leads and you would want to do what you just said, you would just go out there, sort them after sell, and then you would do a voicemail drop or you know, an outreach call. The problem with a lot of these leads is I don't have a name, and if I want to talk or if I want to have a merge code in there, I would like to use a name. You know, when you look at the realtors, the names of the companies.
Wait for V2. Just wait for V2, Joe. All right. We're redoing this right now. All right. So right now we're redoing this where you don't get the data that you want. All right. So right now you're not able to get the data that you want, but I know that that data is right here. Right. So here's that data. This is the data that you actually want, and you don't have that data right now. And if we were to go here, and Marie, you actually asked about this, if we were to go here, hunter.io, and we were just to search this guy right here, now you have their names. All right. So whenever we do V2, it's not going to be, but whenever we release the new version, you will be getting these guys here. You will actually be getting their actual website instead of their Yelp website. And then one of the things, it's not going to be right when we do the relaunch because it's going to take some huge structural engineering. But what we're going to do is we're going to introduce the concept of businesses. And then those businesses, obviously, that business itself will obviously have one single information. And then under those businesses, you'll be able to have people like this. You'll be able to have contacts under that business, each with their own actual, each with their own information. And then that way we'll be able to actually, because we're going to build in a Hunter integration for you in text and bulk so that you can get emails really easy without us having to do scraping. You'll be able to get the emails directly from their website. And Hunter is nice enough where it gives you information like this so that you'll be able to associate those emails with an actual name. And then you'll be able to do that. The only issue that you have here, and this is good because you can see a lot of these phone numbers are actually different. I mean, these are actually the same here, but you can see this is a different one here. This is the same. Most of these are, and these are all the same except for this one right here, different. So this, as I'm not sure if I know you can, but I don't know how many people can understand the engineering challenge that will be here to have multiple different people all associated with the same phone number, and to be able to show, you know, hey, for this phone number, there's actually here, there's 10 different people here, right? 9 different people. So which one of these people's names should we actually Probably not this guy, because he's a fucking lawn care dude, right? This is a compliance manager. We don't know what this is. This is a mortgage broker, loan processor, this is an administrative assistant. So we don't actually get to know who the manager is, just this. They say there's 2 in management, but these people right here. So you're probably wanting to speak to these people, but to try to figure out, you know, like which one of these names should we associate with this one single contact that came back. Not only do you have, you know, these 9 different people that are all pretty much associated with the same website and the same phone number, they all have different emails. So what email address should we associate, and what phone number should we associate is going to be a little bit of a challenge where we're no big deal. We like challenges. So somehow we're going to have that.
Have you looked at how HubSpot does it?
No, have not. But what I was thinking is we would just have a business, and that business themselves you would be able to go in and add multiple contacts underneath that business.
See, HubSpot, actually, when you put in a company name, after you come back like a week later or so, they have collected information like that. You know, I've never thought of it from that perspective, but, you know, their CRM is totally free. And when you go in there and you just put some information in there, they fill it up for you. And they got to do it from that same perspective that you're talking about there. See, if you have one company, they're going to have a Google entry where there's going to other data in it than when they have a Yelp entry. And, you know, that would be really great if there is a way to just merge all that information into a contact.
For sure.
I just don't know how to do it.
For sure. For me, we're going to have to do something like on a business, you'll have to be able to have, you know, multiple different contacts. And that's just going to create an issue because, like you can see in this use case, for this use case, these dudes, most out of these 9 people, 7, you know, 8 of them have a phone number, and 7 of them have the same phone number, and only 1 of them has a different phone number, and that's this asshole right here, whoever he is. But he actually has a LinkedIn profile, which is cool. Thanks, Hunter. But you can see, so there's a little bit of a challenge here to go in and figure out, you know, how do we segregate this data? And then whenever you do want to send, you know, whenever you do want to send out a text message to this guy or a phone call to this guy, which one of these names should you reference out of these 9 names? You know, well, you weren't given 9, you were given basically, I can assume this is Barb. I mean, I'll just make an assumption that this is Barb. So like, which one of these 9 names should we go in and actually associate? So, but that's something for us to figure out. We'll figure out an awesome solution for it. I'm just not sure what it is right now.
Well, why would the company be the top record? Why not the person?
Because the people belong to the company. So ultimately, all these people belong to a company. How did you find these people? You found them by searching for lawyers, and wherever the hell we searched at. These are all weed lawyers. They're Denver guys. So, you know, we searched Denver and we searched for lawyers, and we found all these people here. So, or no, we searched realtors. That's what we searched. We searched realtors. So how did I find all these people here? Well, I found them essentially from Uptown Mortgage's website. So I asked Hunter, hey, give me all the people from Uptown Mortgage being the company, and all of these people are essentially attached to that company. So what I'm thinking is what we would end up doing is we're going to have contacts, but then we're also going to have businesses as well. And you'll be able to have a business which is going to be able to have its own information, and then you're going to be able to associate contacts to that business. You won't necessarily have to associate contacts to a business. You can have a contact that is business lists, but you'll be able to go in and associate multiple different contacts to multiple different businesses. And why would that be, Joe? That would be because whenever you're doing this, right, although we're going to have a great new design, whenever you're doing this, right, and you're contacting this person, whenever you're doing this and you're contacting this person, you're gonna want to do something like this.
Good morning, Hotel Mortgage. This is Ashley.
Yeah, hey Ashley, is Nicole there by any chance?
Yes. Can I tell her who's calling?
Yeah, this is John.
Okay, one second.
Thank you so much, Ashley. So you're gonna want to be able to do something like that, right? And see, okay, hey, who all am I speaking to? Like, what did I just learn there? I just called and I just learned I'm speaking to her. I'm speaking to the administrative assistant. All right. So now I know who I'm actually speaking to. Who do I want to speak to? Well, I want to speak to the compliance manager because that's probably the fucking person in charge. I damn sure don't want to talk to the person that chops the grass. I don't know why they have that person listed there. Well, what if she would have said? No, I'm sorry, Nicole isn't there. Well, then I could easily say, okay, hey, what about Jason? Is Jason there? Yeah, okay, Jason's here. Great. Let me talk to that motherfucker. All right. So that's probably why you want to have them associated to a business, because you're probably going to want them listed all here so that whenever you're doing that cold outreach, which, I mean, let's face it, if you're trying to get provide a service to these dudes aren't going to buy your service through text messages. These dudes, you've got to call. You have to call these dudes in order to be able to provide services like this. Who could you maybe provide a service to through a text message? For the most part, I would say maybe the domain leads people, the individual people, not the business people. But anybody in a professional services, I think that if you start with SMS outreach, I don't think you're going to get near, not that you won't get results. You could get results, sure. But I think you're going to get a lot more results if you kind of do what I just did first. You call them first and you speak to them first. And then after you speak with them, you're like, okay, hey, look, let me send you a text, and I'll send you some more information through text. How about that? And then you can just pick one of your templates and send them out that template and be done with it. But I think you're going to get a lot more traction if you do a cold outreach. In order to do that, you're going to want to be able to have all that information there to know who you're speaking with. But then even that is going to kind of create some logistical nightmares here. You're going to have to know, okay, hey, I called these people. Who did I speak to out of all these different people? And we'll have to try to figure that out. But it can be done, and this is kind of the plan, is to integrate with these dudes. These dudes do cost a little bit of money. Not a lot of money, they cost a little bit of money. But you see how useful that is. Like, that's so useful. I would have not, like, I literally would have stalled right there if Ashley picked up the phone, and if I would have just been like, hey, can I speak to who's in charge? Can I speak to your boss? Ashley would have been like, because that's her job as a gatekeeper. She would have been like, well, who the fuck is this? And I would have been like, oh, hey, well, I'm John. I want to talk about, well, what do you want to talk about? Okay, I want to talk about that. I know, we're not interested in that. But the fact that I can ask for Nicole, Ashley thinks, okay, John must know this person. I should pass this call on because I know who to speak to. So it's really, really relevant to have this data if you want to get past those gatekeepers, because if you know who you should be speaking to, then a lot of gatekeepers are stupid. Like Ashley, they're just going to let you pass. Good gatekeepers aren't. Good gatekeepers are still going to be like, yes, Nicole's there, but you kind of have to go through me first because that's my job. And Ashley clearly doesn't care.
Yeah. Great.
So I can't go over your question, Marie. I just have to pee real quick. If anybody else has any questions, just let me know about that. In the meantime, I'm gonna pee. Hang on.
So is anybody hearing me? Are you guys focusing on one software, or who's doing the $1 a day thing, and who's, like, I'm almost focused on text in bulk, and I don't know if I'm on the right path doing that, or are you guys focusing on all of the software?
Well, what do you want to do?
Well, I've got a double whammy. I'm going to put together an agency where I'm essentially offering kind of a tech-free service where I'll be operating the software, but then on the back end, I do want to promote the software. So I'm thinking about putting together. I guess I was working. I don't even know what I'm doing.
There's when you know, I'm in medical marketing and compliance marketing, and we're doing outreach to practices. I can't use the tools itself, so I can't teach my typical client how to use them, but I can use them in my own business for outreach. But I could imagine that, for example, if you go after roofers or window companies or web designers, that you could actually go out there, use it for outreach, and also teach those guys how to use the software and sell it to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning because I'm from the auto business. So, but I'm getting a little bit of pushback that, oh, this is 15 years old. This is blah, blah, blah. Like, we already have this. We don't use it. So that's why I was thinking about going agency, because the only reason they're not using it is because they don't know how. Not that they have text in bulk, but they have a similar software that, I don't know. So I figure I'll just stick with text in bulk for now.
In automotive? Really? I have never gotten a text message from any automotive guy.
No way. In Canada, it's pretty big. Like, the guys I've been talking to in my circle are using them a lot for the service. So 20% off your next oil change or whatnot. So I'm thinking to focus on text in bulk and try to sell it to dealerships because they've got bigger ad budgets than the little guys.
John, your screen is still shared. You should probably unshare it.
All right, that's fine. I don't care if you guys see what I'm messaging. I don't have any secrets, guys. I have no secrets.
Well, you know, the issue is always that depending on how you approach somebody, that's a typical objection. Yeah, we already have that. You know, if you go out and say, well, you know, I'm doing Facebook ads, they say, well, I have a guy who does Facebook ads. So what you're doing there is you're talking about the service and not about the problem you solve. You know, if you start talking about the problem you solve, then that becomes a totally different scenario. And if part of that problem you solve is the toolbox that you have, then you don't even have to tell them the name of the toolbox. You basically help them to get more customers easier, faster, on a regular basis, and you know, and they don't really care what tool you have. You know, if you come out and say, well, I do text marketing, then yes, they're going to come back and say, well, yeah, I do have that. But if you say, I'm going to get more people to call your front desk, then they don't have that. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, as far as that goes, like, I think my bigger struggles is understanding the tech side of our stuff. I understand sales in the automotive business probably a little too much. So I've got that side of things. It's just I'm a tech tard is what I call myself. So I am absolutely ridiculous when it comes to technology. Like, I'm trying to fill in these funnels right now, and I think I overcomplicate everything for myself. It seems as if, like, I just looked at the domain leads funnel last night. It seems as if I can import that into CF, and then I don't have to change a whole lot, only add in this stripe so the money actually comes to me, not to you, right, John?
That's right. Unless you want the money to come to me, you should not want that.
No. Yeah, so I think I just got to simplify it for myself. As far as like actually talking to the dealerships and stuff, that's kind of where that's my strong suit, right? Like, I've been in the business for a long time, so that's my strong suit. I think I'll just go back and figure out text in bulk and stop trying to overcomplicate it. I think that's my biggest obstacle is my own head. So I get it.
So Marie, you wanted to go over the Hunter stuff and RoboContact?
Yeah, I know you did. So you're feel free to just tag me because I don't want you just repeating yourself for everybody that's here. I know you went over that at one point recently, didn't you? Like if you
It's gonna take like 2 minutes. All right.
all right.
So 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 you're just gonna go to hunter.io. You're gonna create an account. Once you create an account, you're gonna go and you're gonna come to this little API thing. You're gonna grab your API key just like that. Click that button, grab your API key. That's pretty simple. That was like 30 seconds of it. The other part of it is you're gonna log into RoboContact. Once you log into RoboContact, you are going to go into your settings and you're gonna go to your dashboard right here where it says Hunter API. And you're gonna paste in your Hunter API and you're gonna click update. That's the other 30 seconds of it. The other 60 seconds is really straightforward. Hopefully you followed so far. If you haven't, fuck you. You're just gonna go in and run a campaign. You're gonna give it a name. And then you're gonna do all this cool stuff here. And then basically what you're gonna do is you're just gonna say, hey, in this section here where it says, how do you find the email? I would recommend you just do this one. Scrape the email from the website and get the emails from Hunter. That means that we're going to go out to the email, we're going to go out to the website, we're going to grab any emails that we find on the website, and then we're also going to take that website, we're going to give it to Hunter, and we're going to pull in any emails that we find from Hunter, all right? And then if you're going to send emails, all right, if you're going to do anything that's sending emails, then just click this right here that says only send emails to verified email addresses. What that will do is it will essentially go into Hunter, and it will say, hey, take a look. Take a look at Hunter. Where's Hunter? Hunter is just going to use this verifier right here, and you can do something like john@vaughn.com. And that is going to say this is risky, so this will not send. Why does it say my email, why this email address is risky? Because any motherfucker that sends me some stupid ass fucking spam shit that I didn't sign up for, I reply back to him with about 45 different cuss words, and then I mark his email as spam, all right? So if the target that you're sending emails to, if they have a high history of flagging email addresses as spam and complaining, then Hunter will say, no, this guy's risky, all right? If, however, you do something like this, you know, me at poop on my chest.com, I really hope this is not an email address. Hunter will say this is invalid, so it will not send this. However, if you have an email address like this, john@tier5.us, Hunter will say this is a valid email address. This email will get sent out. And that's it. That's literally the Hunter integration. So again, you're just going to go to Hunter. You're going to sign up for an account. Once you sign up for an account, you're just going to go to your API. You're going to copy your API, and then you're just going to take that API and you're going to put it in RoboContact, but I'm not quite sure where RoboContact went. It has disappeared. Right here. And you're just going to go to your settings. And you're going to go to your Hunter API. You're going to paste in your Hunter API, and then you're going to go back to your dashboard, and you're going to go to your campaigns, and you're going to do everything as normal, except for whenever you get down to the section, how to find email, you're just going to, I'm going to just always recommend choose this option right here, all right? This other option is just for you broke-ass people who don't want to use Hunter, all right? So for use people, then just straight email from websites, all right? If you don't check this, I'm also going to assume that you're broke and you do not care about the integrity of your email, all right? If you do not check this, what will happen is if you get that email address, me@pooponmychest.com, you're going to send an email to that email address. That does not exist. That is going to bounce back. If you get a lot of bounce backs, they are going to... I just lost 2 people when I said me@pooponmychest.com. 2 people said, fuck it, I'm out of this training. Can't stay any longer. So if you don't check this, then you're just going to send out an email to every email address. And if you get a bunch of bounce backs, then eventually, you know, your email service provider is just going to say these people are just spamming people, and they're going to rate your email as risky, and then probably shut you down.
So Hunter's not yours then. How much is it? Do you know?
It depends, but it's not super expensive. I'm on a plan that, I mean, they do have different plans, and my plan is probably like $99 a month. So,
Okay. 49.
so I'm on this plan right here that's $99 a month, and I get 5,000 requests.
Okay.
If you need, so here's my take on this, all right? These tools do cost money. They definitely are going to, like, the people who don't want to pay for these tools, I don't have any love for them, because what it tells me is they're not willing to invest in themselves, and they don't value their own time. So if you don't have any value for your own time, you have no business using these tools in the first place, because if you get somebody that's like, okay, I'm interested in whatever you have, you're not going to make any money, because there's nothing for them to pay you for, because your time isn't worth anything, all right? If your time is actually worth something, then you want to go ahead and pay for these tools, because if you don't pay for these tools, you're going to spend a lot of time going through this verification process or creating new email addresses, because your emails keep getting shut down, all right? If you have to use 5,000 requests per month and you're not making money from them, then you need to stop what you're doing. You need to go back to your offer. You need to go back to your messaging, and you need to reevaluate that, because it fucking sucks, all right? If you're going through 20,000 requests per month and you're able to service all those clients, and you're selling a service and not a physical product, you need to go back and think about your messaging, think about your offer, because it fucking sucks, all right? I mean, if you think that you're going to get a 1% conversion ratio on that guy right there, that's 200 people a month. If you're selling a service, most likely you're not going to be able to handle 200 clients a month. I mean, if you're selling a service, I mean, what are you going to sell those dudes? If you're selling them 1 hour of time, that means you're fucking working overtime every month. You're working 40 hours worth of overtime every single month if you're just going to service them with 1 hour of service, all right? If you're selling a product, that's a little different. If you're selling a product, you can service 200 clients a month, easily selling a product. Hopefully, unless your product is $1 for your stupid ass product, then you're going to make money. If your product only costs $1, again, I would tell you to go back and reevaluate your product and maybe find a more expensive product. So I would definitely opt in for the paid services, because they are going to save you a lot of time and really help you and facilitate what you're going to do online. They do cost money, not a lot. I use this, and I only do it for testing, because I don't do cold outreach and stuff to people anymore, because I have a bunch of partners now. And even if I didn't, I have a huge client list now. But I mean, that should last you. I mean, this should be able to actually last you. But if it doesn't, RoboContact will tell you, hey, you don't have any more quota with Hunter, you need to go up. But you can see how useful it was using Hunter. Just whenever we did the call from text in bulk, I was able to bypass the gatekeeper straight and go straight to who I want to talk to, just because I had data from Hunter and I knew who to ask.
Yeah, for sure.
The Hunter is really simple, super simple there. Really, I don't know why you guys have problems sometimes, because I try to make this stuff as simple as possible, like copy, paste, done.
You're on a whole other level. Like, I don't think you could get as simple as I need.
Well, if we work together, I'll make it even more simple. For me, this stuff's so easy. But then again, I did build all this stuff, and it did come out of my head. So. So what else? Other questions, other things you guys want to talk about while we're here?
Not me. I'm going to go back to my offer and figure that out first, and then get Hunter.
What was that? This indulge me for 1 minute in your motivational video. Your 1 minute long motivational video.
Is there no one else?
No one else? No other questions?
Is there no one else?
Anybody have any questions? So nobody else that has any, no one has any questions? Everybody's good. Learned all you can learn today. Does anyone else have any questions? Is everybody good for the day? Has everybody all learned out today?
Yep. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thanks, John.
Yeah. So it seems like everybody's good. So since you're all good, I'm gonna go build this beautiful computer that's sitting on my floor right back here for my Oculus Rift. I'm gonna go build this $3,000 computer. And I'm gonna live stream it right through Facebook. All right. So you guys enjoy your day. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to post them in the Inner Circle group. Whatever questions you have. All right. Thank you so much. This has been recorded for sure. And if you are an Inner Circle member, it will be posted in the Inner Circle group. If you're not an Inner Circle member, then all I can tell you is join the Inner Circle and you can have access to the recording. But this is Inner Circle training. I do let anybody come to them a lot of times, but the recordings are going to be posted in the Inner Circle group. So if you would like access to the recording or access to further trainings, then just go, or access to the softwares themselves, then feel free to join the Inner Circle because that's who this is. All right. All right, boys and girls, enjoy your day. Gotta go build a computer.